Talk to me about adapting Abby for the series from the game, because I think what the series does is it really grounds us from moment 1 of season 2 in her grief and her loss, which sort of gives us more insight into her empathy. Was that something that you sort of knew, like you couldn't just stick with the game, new medium, new story? Or were there specific things that you were really interested in building on from the game to the show?
Some of the stuff is just logistical translation going from video games to TV. And even how, when you get the game, you have the entire story. So with this story in particular, because it's split up into multiple seasons, we knew there's certain things we couldn't wait that long to reveal. So that's why we led with certain things that happened later in the game, earlier in the show, and we get a bit more into who Abby is much earlier to kind of establish her relationship with her crew, as well as her what is about to become antagonism towards Joel and the people in Jackson.
Kaitlyn, since Abby is a sort of polarizing figure in the game for fans of the game, what did you know going in?
Why? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. How well did you know the game going in, and what were your conversations with Neil and Halley and the writers and Craig about kind of like how to sort of prepare to play this character?
My focus, and it seemed like the creator's focus, was to just was really just her emotion and what drives her, and to sort of find the empathy. And obviously she does something horrible, but there is, I think I guess everybody did so beautifully is kind of give us a little bit of a lead up to Abby in the show, which is different from the game. And I think that allows you to just have a better understanding of why she did what she did, and gives you a little bit more context. And so I was just really focused on tapping into the emotion and the anger, and what really drives her forward.
Pedro, there's a really powerful scene between Joel and Maria in the season premiere where they talk about the settlement's refugee policy. They talk about, letting refugees in, and she says at the end, Joel, you were a refugee once. I'm wondering if, there's a particular message that you would want viewers to take away in this moment about sort of, what the Jackson settlement and Joel and Maria are trying to do kind of stands for.
The relationship between Joel and Maria is such an interesting one. It kind of is a really perfect insight into Joel's longing for family in a way that he's not really willing to admit. And he feels like he loses some of that relationship with his brother Tommy by having Maria in his life. And so I love the kind of wrought dynamic between the two of them. And that's what really the thing is sort of based on as far as Joel and Maria is concerned. He's sort of like they kind of threaten one another. And then are very good colleagues in terms of creating a function for the town of Jackson. And yeah, it's a great point that she makes to him when he's all about kind of keeping people out when he was somebody that was let in. She definitely wins that argument.
And from your point of view, you're our city planner, and it's all practical. It's like, there's only so much plumbing I can run and so many houses I can build, and everybody loves contractors, but yeah,
everybody does love contractors. I know I love mine.
Gabriel, Tommy really sort of finds himself a little bit stuck in the middle of Joel and Ellie's contentious relationship.
Right.
I guess I'm wondering if you feel like there's one that who sort of is he protecting the most? Is he trying to protect Ellie? Is he trying to protect Joel? Or is he trying to protect himself?
Wow. I think first and foremost, he's the bearer of this secret, and he's kept it. No one knows. So that's literally the extent of how far that goes. It's Ellie, Joel, and Tommy. I think he's trying to protect himself quite a bit from his wife's wrath. I think that's such a big secret to keep. especially knowing the history between Joel and Maria, and there's a lot of, they're very contentious early on in their relationship, and it's starting to get to a really positive place where we're working hand in hand and expanding and fortifying the city. And I think, so mostly he's probably protecting himself, but he'll keep that. I mean, he'll keep that, take it to his grave because his brother asked him to. But yeah, he's a peacemaker and trying to keep the peace, and I think for the sake of the town, he has to keep these very powerful three people all, kind of lockstep on the same page.
Okay, so last question. We don't talk about spoilers in this room. So what I want to know is, on a scale from 0 to 100, how intense is the pressure to keep the secret of any spoilers compared to the projects that you've worked on in the past?
This is new territory for me. I've never had to keep secrets like this in my life.
Yeah, but you keep other secrets.
I keep other secrets, yeah. Like 200. I think I'm so scared now. Can't say anything. So I just need to stay that way.
Halley, what would you do to us if we gave a spoiler away?
Oh, I mean, the game's been out for 5 years. It's out there.
It's all out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But all the grandmas that are watching the show that don't know the story, that really love it and came to it in that way, we don't wanna...
My mom doesn't know what happens, so I keep my mouth shut.
There are also changes.
Yeah, that the stuff is, we try to keep the secret. It's the stuff that's different from the game, and
I mean, there are no changes.
It's 100%. But it's always fascinating to find so many fans that refuse to look up anything. Like, you could Google a lot of the stuff that happens in the story, and they will not do it.
Thank you
I'd be like that.
Yeah.
I didn't look anything up when I got the part.